Hello and welcome. I hope that you are all doing well. In this video, we're going to start to take a look at the ideas of buttons and alerts to better understand how we can integrate these different components and how we can format them specifically using Bootstrap. So let's move over to our code and let's take a look at what we can do. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to add some buttons into each of these rows, buttons that can prompt people for various different things. So for instance, it would be nice if, when we say that our product is great and that we should buy it, maybe there would be a button that says buy now, and then in the future we could make that like redirect to a buy now page, something like that, right? Or maybe with this not satisfied, we can put like a request a refund button to allow users to request a refund for their products. So let's take a look at how we might be able to do something like this. To add in a button, we can use the following HTML tag. We could do button. And a button is essentially just a clickable segment of our page. So it's kind of like a link, but it's formatted like a button, right? So you will be familiar with the idea of buttons. I will show you once we actually write this in, and it will definitely look familiar to you what a button looks like compared to a link. So we can give it a specific type, which in this case will be button, and then we can give it a class, and there's a variety of different types of classes that exist in Bootstrap to allow us to format buttons. So the one that I'm going to use for this is going to be called button primary. And then we can put text that we want to display inside of the button. So for instance, I could say something like buy now, right? So that might be something that we could put in. Now let me show you what that ends up looking like. So we refresh our page. And you can see we get this blue button that says buy now, and it's something that we can click on. And, I'll show you using things like JavaScript in this sort, how we can make it so that you can click on this button and it redirects you somewhere else, right? So we'll discuss that sort of later on in this course. But for now, we just have these buttons that exist that allow us to be able to interact with this, right? So we can actually click buy now, and maybe it will take us somewhere in the future. The formatting that's applied here is these rounded corners, as well as the blue background and the white text. That is a primary button for Bootstrap. There's a few other different types of buttons that exist in Bootstrap, so primary is not the only one. Let's go ahead and copy this and put it into the div here, and we'll just change this up. Rather than doing button primary, we'll say button success. And what you'll see is that button success looks a little bit different, right? So it looks green in this case. So button success would be green, the button primary would be blue, and then there's another one that I'll show you here, which is button danger, which will be red. So we could do that for this one here. We can say maybe something like, like refund order, something like that, right? So when we do this, we'll get a red button that says refund order, right? Oh, sorry, I didn't change the formatting on that, of course. To get that to show red, we would change this to button danger, like this. Once we change this to button danger, then we'll see that it will actually be red rather than green. So you can see that that is now showing red. So this is one type of thing that we can do with these formats, right? We can add in these different colored buttons, and these work in a variety of different situations. Where you're going to see this most commonly is in situations where you have like a form to fill out, and there's like a, maybe a green or blue button that says save, and then there's a red button that says cancel or something like that, right? Or a red button that says delete and a blue button that says save, something among those lines, right? So this is really nice because a lot of the times as users, we interact with things based on the colors that they are. We click a red button and we know that a red button is something that is sort of like dangerous. It's not necessarily something that we want to click. We want to think about it before we click it. Whereas a blue button is usually like a good thing, right? Or a green button is usually like a good thing as well. So those are the different types of formats and reasons why we might want to use them. Now, in addition to this, I also want to talk a little bit about alerts, which are also most commonly used in situations where we're like submitting a form or something like that, and it displays like a little alert that says it was successful or not. But I'm going to demonstrate it to you here just to show you what it looks like, because it uses a lot of the same principles as the buttons. So an alert is a div, and it has a specific class, and that class is alert. And then again, like before, we have these different types of alerts. So we have alert success, we have alert warning, alert danger, and many, many others. So when we add in this alert, it will format things as an actual alert. So we can put at the bottom here, all products belong to company Inc. Something like that maybe. And when we do this, let's go back over to our web page here and see what that looks like. So when we refresh that, we get this little green border here that says all products belong to company Inc. So this gives you a bit of an idea of what these alerts look like. They're essentially just these long banners that have a specific background color depending on what they are. So success will be green, warning I believe is usually yellow, and then alert is usually red. Or sorry, danger is usually red, right? They're all alerts. So this is something that we can use to sort of like add in like a notification that something has happened, right? So that's the main purpose of these alerts. So it should give you a bit more of an understanding of the different buttons and alerts that exist. I'm actually going to remove this alert because it doesn't really look too nice. We'll keep the buttons though, because the buttons look good. And yeah, so that would be everything that I really want to talk about here. So thank you for watching this video. In the next video, we're going to take a look at a few other things that we can add into our site using Bootstrap and continue to build up our company site to look nice.